What's going on, guys? Oop. Welcome to another episode, a ranking video for the channel, again. I thought about it and I figured, my whole channel's based on Nuzlocking. I think it's just a fun format. It forces you to play with Pokemon that you normally would not play with. Like, I can tell you right now, if I didn't Nuzlocke games, I probably would have never used a Blossom before in my life. I love Blossom. I think it's a great Pokemon. I would never have used... what's Pokemon? See, like, that's the thing. Like, I've used so many Pokemon now, and I like so many Pokemon, I can't think of what I would have never used. But, anyways. So, getting into it, we're going to be choosing, each of these based on how much worth you can get these Pokemon in a Nuzlocke. And how much they benefit you in a format. Like, I'll only be going through the final evolutions. But, for example, Venusaur, I think, is a perfect Pokemon. It's bulky. Its typing is pretty decent. It's pretty good, honestly. It gets Leech Seed. It gets the Powders, which is pretty good for early game, I guess. Synthesis. And if you want to be that guy, Mega Venusaur, thick fat, that's extremely bulky, that gets rid of two of its weaknesses. But especially like if you're playing a Kanto game, if you start off with Bulbasaur, you're good for the first two gyms. So you can kind of like sit back a little bit, like train him up a little bit, like for Brock. As long as you know Vine Whip, I think it's like level 10 maybe. You can just defeat the whole gym by yourself with that Bulbasaur. So you can put effort into training other Pokemon. So honestly, I think Venusaur is a perfect Pokemon. For Nuzlocking. I think it's a great bulky grass poison type. I can't tell you I'd ever be upset with getting a Venusaur as an encounter. Next we have Charizard, one of the most iconic Pokemon of all time. Now I'm gonna say regular Charizard, I'm actually gonna put in B tier. I think Charizard's... See, some people, let me get my words right.
In America, millions of people, including children, are facing
you hear
hunger. That? I only have $10 in my checking account, but it will be...
There we go. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but this ad was playing for me. Anyways, let's get rid of that too. Sorry, that's very unprofessional. But yeah, no, Charizard... Obviously, everyone's going to be, excited to get a Charizard for their encounter, yada yada. But Charizard is one of the Pokemon, it's always been, most of Pokemon's history has been a very overrated Pokemon. Everyone loves Charizard, everyone gets excited. But in the last couple of years, it's finally caught up to it where everyone's just kind of tired of it. But, as a Pokemon in general, it's decent, I don't think it's C tier. I think it's at least high B tier. Because it hits hard. The flying typing is just what kind of hinders it. The way I look at it is Charizard, typing wise, is worse. Typhlosion is better just because it's pure fire, but Charizard has a much better moveset. Especially if you're going back to Gen 1 with Fire Spin. Amazing. And it just hits hard. Then we got Blastoise, who I'm actually going to put in below Charizard. And my reasoning for that is because you just get so many water types in Pokemon. It's a bulky water type, it takes a hit. You're gonna, if you're playing Kanto, you're just gonna get a Tentacruel, you're gonna get a Cloyster, something else that's water and bulky, You really don't want to waste, if Blastoise was more offensive and had a little bit less defense and more speed, it would probably be a little bit better, but pure water defense, I don't think it's that amazing. I really don't. Butterfree, absolutely atrocious. I cannot tell you, I have never been excited for a Butterfree. Aside from Shiny Gold Sigma, you can even go back and watch, I think it's episode 1 or 2, when the lock officially starts after my Pokeballs. I end up killing a Caterpie. And I was upset just because it was an encounter that I killed. I wasn't even upset that it was a Caterpie. Dude, I'm sorry. Butterfree sucks. It's just not a good it's not that it's a bad Pokemon. It's not the worst, obviously, but it's just not a great Pokemon. Beedrill, see, Beedrill is definitely D tier, but it's more. This is more about like whether you'd rather have a Beedrill or a Butterfree, and I think I would definitely rather have a Beedrill because it's not 4 times weak to rocks. Well, it's just rock in general. It hits at least decently hard, harder than Butterfree, and I feel like I'd rather just have a like a Beedrill over a Butterfree. And come on, that's my boy Bees Nuts. Come on, hello. I'm not being biased here because he's in D tier. I'm just saying like he's better than Butterfree. Pidgeot. Pidgeot's an easy C tier. You know, I'm gonna say yeah, C tier. Thing about Pidgeot, you get so many flying types too. There are just plenty of flying types in the game, like throughout all of Pokemon. And Pidgeot, like flying normal, it's an okay Pokemon. Like you're not gonna just get a Pidgeot and be like, oh, I'm set for the whole game. Like no, you're gonna be like, okay, this will set me over for right now until I get something better. So Pidgeot, no, it's definitely just one of those Pokemon. Like early game, I'd probably give it B tier, but then like midway to halfway through the other half of the game, I'm gonna say C tier. Raticate is actually, I think, personally underrated. I think that's a high B tier. Controversial take. And my reasoning for that is mainly because obviously it gets guts. It's, flame orb, easy. And it has a pretty high like base attack. And if you want to go into the earlier games, if you can teach it Facade, it's great. It's fast, it hits hard. Yeah, me personally, I think Raticate is very underrated. Personally, that's just me. Next up, we have Fearow. And Fearow is just kind of a worse Pidgeot, in my opinion. I wouldn't say he's that much better nowadays, but yeah, he's still, like, kind of just always been following behind in Pidgeot's shadow, I feel. I don't think it ever has really reached the same caliber as Pidgeot. Like, yeah, it gets Driller Run. I think it gets Heat Wave, too, I think. I know it gets Steel Wing, but that Pidgeot gets Steel Wing. Oh, and Pidgeot definitely gets Heat Wave. But yeah, no, Pidgeot has a much higher base special attack, I think, than Fearow. And I'm not sure off the top of my head, but I'm pretty sure Pidgeot's faster, too. Anyways, next up we got C tier. Honestly, I'm going to put it top of C tier right now. Just because it gets Intimidate. And Intimidate is probably one of the best abilities in the game. Honestly, I don't... Like, there's just nothing wrong with the ability. You can definitely say there's something wrong with the Pokemon you give the ability to. But no. Arbok, it's a poison type. I don't think Arbok has that much bulk to it. But like I said, its ability definitely helps. And if you're going back to like Fire Red Leaf Green or just Kanto in general, it's playing with Intimidate's okay. I think you can get it in Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald, I think. Don't quote me on that. But that's fine. I mean, getting it later on in the games, just gets more and more moves added to its learn set. Then we got Raichu. I'm sorry, but Raichu is a great Pokemon. You cannot tell me otherwise. I think it's base 100 speed. I think Pikachu's base 90, I think, and Raichu's base 100. I think so. But Raichu, it hits hard. It's just an easy electric type. Pikachu learns Thunderbolt in like its mid-20s normally. So then you could just evolve it, and you have this great electric type that's pretty fast and hits pretty decently hard. And it's, like I said, it's pure electric, so all you have to really worry about is ground type moves. So you're either just gonna avoid ground type Pokemon, or a lot of Pokemon that can learn a ground type move that's usually used it, you'll know off the top of your head most of the time. So you just have to play around that, and most of the time you just fire off Thunderbolts, Thunders, Volt Tackles without really, well, not Volt Tackle, but you can really just play around that. Sandslash, my boy. Okay. So if we're basing this pre-Black and White 2, I think Sandslash would be an easy D tier. But nowadays with Rapid Spin, boosting your speed, Earthquake, and its moveset just being improved, I'm actually going to give it like a high B tier. No, not high B tier. I think it's probably low B tier compared to these three. Yeah, personally, yeah. Sandslash, like, it's a good Pokemon. It's better than these guys, but no, I don't think it's better than these three. Because, like, Sandslash, yeah, it's a bulky ground type. Well, bulky, quote-unquote. It's not that bulky. It's not super slow, but it doesn't hit super hard. It's just like a... Once you get to, like, the 4th or 5th gym, I feel like that's when you're going to want to, like, replace it with, like, a better ground type. IMO. This whole video is IMO. Next up, we have Nidoqueen and Nidoking. So these Pokemon, while sometimes you might think they're kind of similar, they're really not. Nidoqueen being more bulky, while Nidoking being more, like, offensive. I'm going to say Nidoking is an easy A tier, and Nidoqueen with its, like, diverse moveset. Both of them have a crazy moveset. I would say is high B tier. I think it's better than these guys. Like, I would rather have Nidoqueen over anyone else below her. With Nidoking just hitting hard, especially with Sheer Force. Sheer Force, for those who don't know, it takes away, I believe, the added effect of, like, a move like Sludge Wave. It'll take away the ability to poison, but it'll, like, just add that extra power boost. So someone like Feraligatr, it would take away the ability to flinch a Pokemon when you're using Bite, but it would just add a little bit more to that Bite, you know? Like, more damage. Next up, we have Clefable. And Clefable, with its Fairy typing, is an easy S tier Pokemon. If it wasn't a Fairy type, I'd probably say it's either low A tier or high B tier. Probably, like, below Nidoqueen, but for right now, with its Fairy typing, it is an easy S tier Pokemon. It's pure Fairy. It's a decent typing, but, like, Clefable stat wise is just great. Its move learn set is great. Yeah. And then we have her sister, Wigglytuff. I'm sorry, but Wigglytuff, you are, like, low C tier. I think Wigglytuff gets some good moves too. Like, I know it gets Ice Beam and Fire Blast. I don't know about Flamethrower. I think it gets Water Pulse. But, like, it's normal Fairy. The best thing about it is the HP stat. And there are Pokemon that just do what you want Wigglytuff to do, but just so much better. Then we got Golbat. I'm going to say Golbat is... yeah, I'm going to say... low B tier. And the reasoning for that is, yeah, nowadays you have, like, Eviolite, but, like, that's really better for Wi-Fi. Like, Golbat, it's just okay. Like, I'm never gonna run into a Zubat and think, oh man, I can't wait to evolve this, use a Golbat, and get Crobat is who you really want. Golbat is just that middle of the line, like, I guess I'll use it for now. You're not really gonna like that. You don't want it for what it is. You want it for what it'll eventually become. So I definitely think it's B tier. Next up, we have the ace of my favorite Kanto gym leader, Vileplume. And Vileplume just does somewhat kind of similar to what it's somewhat similar to Venusaur, just not as good. So I would definitely give it, like, I don't think it's A tier. I really don't. I'd rather have a Charizard, but I'd rather have Vileplume over Blastoise, personally. Next up, we've got... oh, this jerk. I'm sorry, but, like, dude, I'm putting you at absolute bottom of D tier. You are 4 times weak to fire and flying. And if you have the ability Dry Skin on your Parasect, it's 8 times weak to fire. That is absolutely insane. Think about that. It is not, unless you are level 100 up against a level 1, you're not, or, you know, you take like a fucking, I'm so sorry for that word, an Inferno, Fire Blast, Blast Burn, you know, whatever. You're dying. I'm sorry, you're dying. Yeah, you could be high C tier. You're pretty decent. Doug Trio is actually pretty underrated in my opinion. I would say it's probably right behind Nidoqueen because it's fast. You know, Earthquake, Dig, Aerial Ace. Yeah, I'm gonna say it's right up there. Then we got Persian, who is above Arbok, but I think below. Yeah, I think above Arbok. Yeah. I think that's good because it doesn't really do anything. It gets special moves, but it's more of a physical attacker. It's fast, but it's not that fast. Or like fast enough to be worthwhile. Yeah. What are you gonna do? Slash Payday? That's it. Golduck. Pure water, but fast. Yeah, I'm gonna say you're above Charizard because Surf, Ice Beam. I think Golduck is a great Pokemon, and it's an offensive water type, making it just a little bit better than Blastoise. So yeah, we did you. Then we got Primeape, who I think is below Blastoise because it hits hard, but it's a little frail. Primeape is one of those Pokemon. Like I feel like anytime I've ever used it, I just have to place very carefully with it. Like I have to just send it in at the end to just hit something. Alright, then we got the ace to my favorite Pokemon waifu. If you don't know who it is, then you're gonna have to Google it. It starts with an M. Arcanine, who I think is just a great Pokemon. It's such a pain to level up and train, but once you get it to, I believe, 49 as a Growlithe, it'll learn Flamethrower, and then you could use it with a Firestone, and it'll get Extreme Speed right away. I think Growlithe Arcanine really. I think I don't think it's as versatile in a lock as Nidoking. In Wi-Fi, I would say Arcanine is definitely a much better Pokemon, but I think it's definitely an A-tier Pokemon. Poliwrath is honestly one of those Pokemon that I have this like big love for. I think it's just a great mon. Yeah, his moveset isn't that great. Because aside from Drain Punch, Liquidation, does he even get Liquidation? I'm not sure. I'm thinking about that. Yeah, I don't even know if he gets Liquidation. I know he gets Waterfall, Ice Punch, Rock Slide. Yeah, I would say he's like I'd say he's probably like right above Primeape. I'd rather use Poliwrath than Primeape personally. Alakazam, top it, A tier. Only thing stopping Alakazam from being an S tier Pokemon, in my opinion, is just how frail he is. Like, I'm terrified. I've used an Alakazam like maybe 2 or 3 times before in my life, and they were all in locks. And every time I use it, I'm just terrified. If I don't one-shot something, I'm gonna get one-shot, and you don't want that. Machamp, perfect. I'm gonna put them right below Alakazam. Dude, Machamp is such a great Pokemon. Dude, it hits so hard. It's just such a good Pokemon. Victory Bell, another grass poison type, and I think Vileplume is just better than Victory Bell. Tentacruel, A tier Pokemon. Like this, I think. Yeah, it's not the best water. Like, I think out of all the defensive water types in Gen 1, out of the Kanto Pokemon, I think Tentacruel is probably the best. Just because it's especially bulky, and it hits pretty hard. Golem. I love Golem. I think Golem just because as long as you play around water and ice, water and grass types, really, you're good. Yeah, obviously water is the most plentiful typing in the game, but Golem is very bulky, and it's surprisingly obviously it has a high attack stat, but it hits so much harder than you really think it does. Next up is a Rapidash, and that is a C tier Pokemon in my opinion. You know, I'd say above Sandslash now that I think about it. Honestly, I'm gonna move Sandslash down to C tier. I'm gonna move both of you down to C tier now that I'm looking at it. Rapidash hits hard physically. Its moveset, I think it could be better. But now that I think about it, like, yeah, Golbat and Sandslash just aren't that good. Slowbro. Easy. S tier. Bulky, defensive water type, psyche typing, Calm Mind. I remember the reason I want to say this goes back to when X and Y came out. I saw somebody use a Calm Mind Slowbro set, and they completely swept somebody's entire team with it, including like a Mega Mewtwo. And me, when I was getting back into Pokemon at the time, I saw that and I was like, oh my god, I never realized how powerful Slowbro is. But yeah, no, Slowbro is a great Pokemon. It's just good. Magneton, I would say you're below Blastoise, but you're a B tier. Farfetch, easy C tier. I would put you below Arbok, but I'll keep you above the birds. Dodrio is surprisingly really good. It's actually a very good Pokemon. Thinking about it, it's kind of a one and done. Yeah, I'll put you bottom B tier, but above C. Because it's again, like, it's fast, it hits really hard, stab return, it gets jump kick, it gets drill run, but it just can't really take a hit. Gong, water ice type. Yeah, above you guys. Yeah, that looks about right in my eyes. Muck. Muck is an easy B tier Pokemon. I don't think it's above Dodrio or Rapidash. Cause yeah, its stats are kind of meh. Like, it's specially defensive, I believe. It hits kind of okay, but that's really it. Yo, then we got Cloyster. C tier. I'm sorry. Cloyster, you just blow on it with a special attack and it gets knocked out. Gengar, right below Alakazam. And I say that because Gengar hits so hard, but Alakazam it hits just as hard, and it's a little bit faster. So if you ever, I believe they both have base 130 special attack, maybe a little higher than that, but I think they both have the exact same special attack stat, but Alakazam is just slightly faster, where Alakazam is slightly faster, but Gengar, believe it or not, is just slightly bulkier than Alakazam. And like, looking at their body shapes, you can kind of see that. But like, damn, like, Gengar can actually take a hit much better than, not much better, but a little bit better than Alakazam could, which I think is just absolutely insane. Onix, bottom D tier. I'm sorry, dude. I love Onix. I want you to know, I would love to play through an entire game solo running with Onix. I think it's a great Pokemon, honestly, especially with Steelix, the lore of the anime and the cards. You know, I love Onix, I really do. But it's terrible. It is a terrible Pokemon. I can't deny that. Next up, we got Hypno, who I think is, I would say is definitely A tier, maybe above Tentacruel. Yeah, you're gonna be chilling out in in C tier, my dude. I'll put you here below Persian. You just don't do enough. I'm sorry, Kingler. I love Kingler, but he just doesn't do enough. Electrode? That's a high B tier, I think. Above Raticate, definitely. Executor? I'm sorry, you're like mid C tier. Your typing is horrible. Yeah, that looks about right. Yo, then we got the Chans. Hitmonlee is an easy A tier. Hitmonchan I would say is probably like low B tier. Better than Muck, better than Dodrio, better than Rapidash. I would say it's better than these two fighting types. Not as good as Magneton though. Yo, Lickitung though. High C tier. I've used Lickitung before. It's much better than you think it is, honestly. Then we've got. Yo, we got Marowak. B tier. Again, another Pokemon that just it hits so much harder, especially when you give it the club. Without the club, it's probably like a C tier Pokemon, but I'm gonna give it B tier. Rhydon, A tier. Bottom A tier. Chansey? See, Chansey's just bulky. I'm gonna put it in like bottom C tier above Wigglytuff. Chansey, all it does is show up, take a hit, and that's it. You're not relying on it for anything else. Tangela is D tier. I'm sorry. Yeah, right here. It's a wall, but doesn't do anything. Seadra, bottom C tier. Sea King, yo, I'm sorry. I hate this Pokemon. I usually don't say I hate Pokemon. I hate this Pokemon. I have a vendetta against Goldeen, and this just with association. I think it is an ugly Pokemon. Starmie is great. I would probably be willing to put it above Rhydon. Not above Tentacruel, though. Yo, Mr. Mime. Ugh. That's unfortunately, it's a B tier Pokemon. Probably above these two. Yeah, that looks about right. Scyther? That's another frail Pokemon. Probably put it below Magneton. Jinx hits actually very hard. That's an A tier Pokemon right there. Right there. Electabuzz. I think it actually is better than Raichu. Honestly. Magmar. I would say is above Starmie. I don't know if I'd say it's above Tentacruel. Yeah, no, I don't think it is. No. Tauros, I think it's okay. Let me explain myself. In the first generation of games, False Swipe Gaming did a video, I think fairly recently, talking about like the most broken Pokemon of all time. In the original games, Tauros is just so busted in Wi-Fi. And I know this is like a Nuzlocke format we're going over, but it's a normal type. It gets Intimidate. If you're playing the original games, it gets Ice Beam, Flamethrower, Fire Blast, Thunderbolt. Even now, it still gets those moves. It's bulky. I'm sorry. I think Tauros is great. I don't think it's as good as, looking at it, I'm gonna say, yeah, I'm gonna say in this order. Slowbro, Venusaur, Clefable, Tauros. Yeah, I think that looks about right. Tauros is a great Pokemon. If you don't believe that, or I'm sorry, I'll debate you. You're wrong. Xmas Mudkip, if you're watching this, bro, if you want to have a debate, we'll debate about this. Pincer. See, that's the thing. I've never really I'm recording a series right now that I haven't uploaded yet. I have a Pincer, but I haven't really used it. I've grinded it, but not much. It's definitely not A tier. Is it B tier? I'd be willing to say it's better. I'd rather use a Pincer probably than a Muck or a Marowak. Probably, yeah. Gyarados though, top of A tier. I'm sorry. He's the man. That's Aquaman! I think Gyarados is just an amazing Pokemon. It honestly is. Lapras? Water Ice type? I think this is a high A tier Pokemon. Or maybe mid. I think it's better than Jinx, personally. Because bulkier. And I think, yeah, especially nowadays, Water Ice is probably better than Ice Psychic, I think. Especially defensively. Ditto. King of garbage. I actually really like Ditto, especially in the anime. I think the Orange Island League, that Drake was his name, maybe. I think he used a Ditto. And as a kid, I was like, wow, Ditto's really powerful. And its ability Imposter. If you get a Ditto with that ability, that's great. Let's see. Now, in terms of viability, Eevee is an S tier Pokemon. Obviously, we're not ranking it though. But I'm going to say, in terms of usage, I would say Vaporeon is probably worth your while more than these guys. Jolteon is a B tier Pokemon, I think, just because you could probably get your hands on a better electric type. I think it's better than Electrode. Flareon, I think it's better just because the viability or how easy it is to get compared to a Rapidash. It hits fairly hard, especially with Facade, and it gets Guts as a hidden ability. I think it's better than Mr. Mime. I think Scyther and Hitmonchan are probably better than Flareon. Yeah, I think so. Porygon by itself, that's another D tier Pokemon. Amistar? Yeah. Wait. Yeah, it's Ammonite, Amistar. Yeah. It's actually pretty good. Probably below... Actually, no. Above Raticate. Thinking about it, because it's actually kind of fast. Lord Helix. Yeah, I think that works, right? Because Electrode definitely is, I think, much better with how fast it is. Volt Switch, Hidden Power, stuff like that. Yeah. Kabutops, my boy. Unfortunately, he's not as good. I'm gonna put him below Magneton. Aerodactyl. Aerodactyl is another A tier Pokemon, probably like right below Gyarados, because it's fast, it hits hard, it's got a Donald Trump chin. Okay, now this next one might be the hottest take of the video. I think Snorlax is easily, if you made a top 10 list of Pokemon, like, you know, non-legendary Pokemon and all that to like do a lock with, I don't think you can really argue somebody putting Snorlax on their list. It's a normal type, and I think normal typing, again, another hot take, I think normal typing is the best type in the game. Personally, I do. That might be my next my next tier list. It's just such a great typing. It only is weak to fighting, which you can always counterplay by switching out. It's got a huge health stat. It's bulky. It hits so hard. It's just such a great Pokemon. Yo, then we got the 3 birds. Okay. Wait, where'd it go? There you go. Articuno. So obviously the 3 birds are all great. I'm gonna say Articuno is like top of B tier. Moltres, I think it honestly is the worst of the 3. Yeah, it hits the hardest, but you know, yeah, I'm gonna say A tier, but like low A tier. And Zapdos is definitely an S tier Pokemon. I'd rather have Snorlax, but Zapdos, it's so great. Honestly, it is. Dragonite is A tier. I'd put it right below Vaporeon because Vaporeon is much more accessible, especially because you can get it at an earlier point. Dragonite is like 55, I think, the evolution. Yo, then we got Mewtwo, another S tier Pokemon. I'd put him below Slowbro personally. And then Mew, who can learn any move in the game. I don't know if I would say it's an S tier Yeah, it's S tier. Probably above, like right here. Come on. Right there. So there we go. That's my opinion on all the Pokemon from Gen 1 in their Nuzlocke viability. Personally, obviously, you're more than welcome to like argue with how you feel this list would go. I personally think this is like a good representation. Like if you were to play a Nuzlocke and you were to like get one of these Pokemon, like where it would fit on your like on the ranking of whether you should keep it above something else. But yeah, hey, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Have a great day.